This video is going to explain how to find a fraction of an amount. Now, I've got a number of blocks here, and this is how most people see numbers, just as mysterious collections of things, of ones in this case. But most numbers have got shapes. Most numbers can be made into rectangles, and this is number 24, and there's several different ways to make the number 24 into a rectangle. And I'm going to start by looking at this particular rectangle. Now, people who know their times tables well will know that 24 is 4 times 6. It's not the only one. Numbers you can't make into lots of rectangles are known as prime numbers. All the numbers you're going to use today will be nicely numbers like this that you can arrange into different rectangles. Now, based on the fact that there are 4 rows, we can split 24 into 4 different piles. So we can find some fractions of 24. So here's the fractions we're going to start off by finding. Now, there are 2 different ways to understand a fraction. If we look at this one, 1/4 of 24, then we could think of that as 24 divided by 4. And you can see that if I divide my 24 into 4 piles, then each pile has got 6 blocks in it. So 1/4 of 24 is 6. Now, that's only a lot of use if your times tables are quite good, because if you don't know that 6 falls to 24, then you won't know that 24 divided by 4 is 6, and it's a good reason to learn your times tables to be good at fractions. There is another way though, and you could look at it like this. You have the number 24, and the fraction here can be understood as for every 4 we take 1. So we've got 4 here and we take 1. We've got 4 here and we take 1. We've got 4 here and we take 1. 4 here, we take 1. 4 here, we take 1. 4 here, we take 1. And you can see there that 1/4, 1/4 of 24 is 6. Now, this particular arrangement of 24 also lets us work out what a 1/6 of 24 is. Why is that? Well, if we do the divide first, 24 divided by 6 is 24 split into 6 separate piles. You can see that there's 4 in each pile. So 1/6 of 24 is 4. And if you know your times tables, then you know that 6 times 4 is 24, and the divide is easy. But you could do it like this. You could say, for every 6, I take 1. 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 And there we've got 1/6 of 24 is 4. Now, we're going to try and find all the unit fractions of 24. That means all the fractions with 1 on the top. So we've got a 4th and a 6th. Now, hopefully you'll have discovered, if you've done a bit of times table and practice with this, you'll have discovered that the other rectangles you can make, we can make a 1 by 24, that's a very long one. We can make a 2 by 12. We can make a 3 by 8. And of course, we've got the 4 by 6 already. So, let's make the 3 by 8. Is it going to fit on my screen? Hopefully it will. Just about. Okay, so there's the 3 by 8 rectangle. Now we can use that to find out 1/3 of 24. 1/3 of 24 is 24 divided into 3. And this rectangle, you can see, lets us split it into 3 very easily. And 1/3 of 24 is 8. And we can do it the other way. We can find 1/8 of 24. Again, this is all down to your times tables. If you know your times tables, it's really straightforward, because you say, how many 8s in 24? Well, we can split 24 into 8 separate piles. And we've got 1 pile here, 1 pile there. There's another one. It's gone a bit messed up now, isn't it? you can see that each pile has got 3 in it, which means that 1/8 of 24 is 3. Okay, we're going to do 2 and 12 now, so we can find a half of 24. Most people won't need to use blocks to do that one, because halving is something that you spend a lot of time doing in primary school. But 1/12 of 24 might be a bit more confusing. So we take our 24 and we turn it into a 2 by 12, which is going to be very challenging for me because it doesn't fit on the screen. There we go. You're going to have to imagine this one curving round. I think we're going to go and make it into a bendy rectangle. There we go. Come back down here. And there we are. Hopefully you can see that if I split my 24 blocks into 12 piles, each pile is going to have 2 in it, which means that 1/12 of 24 is 2, because 24 divided by 12 is 2, or 2 times 12 is 24. They're all linked. And finally, we've got 1/24 of 24, and that, of course, is 1. Before this video finishes, I'd just like to explain very clearly that most people get confused about fractions because there are 2 real meanings to fractions, and we've looked at one. We've looked at the meaning of fractions as operations. So in this case, we have treated the fraction as something you do to the number. So 1/4 of 24, we're taking 24 and we're quartering it. But the other meaning of fractions is that they're just normal numbers. Hopefully you'll have come across the number line, and on the number line is 0, and down here we've got the negative numbers, and up here we've got the positive numbers, and they go on in both directions forever. Well, fractions are numbers. They actually live on the number line. So as well as being operations, something you do to a number, they're also numbers on their own. So for example, we all know that a half lives here. We all know that a quarter lives here. And here we've got 1 1/4, and so on. And all these numbers here, a 12th for example, that's really small, that's probably that big there, there's a 12th. So this video has been explaining how to use a fraction as an operation, but remember, fractions are also numbers. They have 2 sorts of meanings.